Hello and welcome to another episode of In the Studio. Today I'm joined by Sheila Halliwell, who's going to show us this fantastic graduation card. It's a really great 3D idea and it uses your cover mounts from May Creativity magazine. Hi Sheila, welcome along today.
Hello.
We've got a lovely graduation card you're going to make for us today.
Yes, we're going to make a card for that important celebration that lots of people achieve. And today we're going to make a 3D effect card with a little bit of a spring to it.
Really good that, isn't it? I love it. Fantastic. Right, what's first?
Okay, so first of all, we need to take a 6x6 card. Okay, this is a pre-scored card. So you open it up and we're going to measure halfway along the first section. And then we fold this in half. And this is what makes our folded bit at the bottom. So that's kind of the base of the card. And then with the opposite side of the card, we need to mark out halfway along each of the three sides. So obviously we're using a 6-inch card, so it's going to be a little mark at 3 inches, 3 inches and 3 inches. Okay, and then with your scoreboard, you can score a line from the first point here, right down to the fold. And then again from the opposite side. So we end up with what looks like almost like a Union flag. And then we can start to fold. So we fold the section at the bottom first. And what I'm going to do is turn it over. I'm going to fold along the diagonal and then along the opposite diagonal and then across the fold that way. So it's a little bit like a tea bag fold. Okay, so once we've done that, the next thing to do, because I'd already made a pencil mark here, you can either cut these corners off with your scissors or you can use your guillotine. So what I've done is cut 2 corners from blue paper mani textured card, and we're going to put these one at the bottom here and one at the bottom here. Now I've cut them a little bit bigger because I need to trim them down once I've actually done my die cutting. So we're going to use the die that you get free with the May issue of Creativity magazine.
Oh, it's a fantastic one, isn't it?
It's absolutely beautiful. It cuts great and we can use the whole of the die. So we use the outer section, the inside swirl, and we also have the 2 little fleur-de-lis designs at the top and the bottom, both different sizes. So again, you can use those as well, which we will be doing.
Brilliant.
Okay, so now what I need to do is take the die cuts and we're going to apply some tacky glue because it's quite intricate. I'm just going to do little blobs in the little sections and we're going to stick these onto the white corners that we cut from our original card.
Oh, so you're using the bits that you've cut off, so we're not wasting anything. Oh, that's really good.
So we're going to stick this one onto here, and obviously it's the perfect die shape to just sit onto a triangle.
Yeah, it's really good for a corner, that one, isn't it?
And if we need to trim some off here and off the blue, then we can do that as we go along.
Lovely.
So again, we'll repeat this with the second one. Okay, so now we've got our 2 sections on here. So what I want to do is make sure that with my triangles, that they actually just meet in the middle. So from the blue card that I cut the dies with, I've cut 2 triangles to fit the base section. I'm going to glue these into place and these will just kind of meet up at the centre point that we've just marked. Like that. So
very nice.
Just ever so slightly overlap at the front so that then that will sit there.
Beautiful. Very nice.
So the next thing to do now is we want to place these triangles onto here, but we want to have the blue showing all around. So I'm just going to trim a little section off each of these triangles. And for this, either use your guillotine or use your big bladed scissors so you get a nice neat cut and you'll know that it is straight as well. So now we've done that bottom section, we can stick that in place. So this is going to go over here and we're going to use a piece of 3D foam tape to secure that. And that gives us our little springy section now, like that. So next we need to do our centre section. So what we're going to do here, I've already cut a piece of blue card and again a little piece of white, slightly smaller, and we're going to attach this to the middle section here.
Lovely.
Okay, so we'll use our tacky glue to do that first of all, and then we can just press that down.
Lovely.
And then we can start to add more decoration
Brill.
with the die cuts. And then we're going to use the inside panels that we cut from the actual die itself, from the centre of the die. So we'll put this onto here now. We're going to have one at the top and one at the bottom. And then we're going to make our little hat and the other little bits that we need to put on the card. So we pop one there. And then we're going to pop a couple of the fleur-de-lis pieces on as well. So now we've got our main base section done. So what I want to do now is create the little scroll. So I'm going to use one of the bows from the denim collection.
Beautiful.
And we're going to just take a little piece of copier paper here and I'm going to roll it up round my pencil just to create that scroll effect. So we'll just get it going first. And then once we've rolled it up, we'll put a line of glue along there and that will dry quite quickly. And then we can stick our bow onto there. So just to tie in with the blue of the card, we're just going to add a tiny little bit of blue pigment ink just to the edges.
Ah, yeah, lovely.
And then we'll glue the bow on there and we can pop it to one side while the glue is drying while we do our other little embellishments. Okay, and we can just...
That's lovely.
And that's really simple, isn't it? You know, it's really, really simple. But again, you've just created a really quick scroll.
That's really clever.
Okay, so we're going to bring our main card back now because we want to make the mortar board, which is going to stick onto the centre of the card.
Fantastic.
Okay, so what I've done is cut a diamond, quite a slim diamond, from the blue card. So again, it all matches. And then we're just going to highlight around the edge with the darker ink. And then... the easiest way to explain about how to do the section that would sit on top of the head would be to cut a triangle and then round the corners, but as you cut it, kind of make it dip a little bit.
Okay.
So you kind of creating the front section of the head. And again, a little bit of ink around the edges. Okay, and then we're going to attach that with a little bit of 3D tape. So I'm going to cut a little section off because I want the top bit to extend out above the base. And then what we will do is we will place the hat, top section of the hat onto here, but first of all we need to put the tassel in the top.
Oh, of course.
So we need to make a hole, and for that we're going to use the X-Cut screw hole punch. And we're going to make a hole in the middle. So we'll just give a couple of pushes on that. And then we get a nice little hole, which can feed our tassel through. So to make the tassel, I've taken a couple of lengths of the dark twine and from the Gorgeous range, and also the lighter twine from the Capsule collection.
Ah, yes.
Okay, so the best thing to do here is to take a few lengths and to cut them and keep bending them in half like this and cut them again. Okay, and then we'll take one length from that and we'll take a second length because we want to have one hang from the top so we can hang the tassel, and then we also want one to go around the middle section.
Okay.
Okay, so the best thing to do is take one strand and loop it and then pass that through and push the two ends through the loop. A bit like you do when you're putting twine or ribbon through a tag.
Oh, yes.
So we have this nice tight section, pull it quite tight, so that then holds the tassel.
Okay, yeah, I can see that's coming into shape.
Okay, and then with the other length that we just cut, we're going to wrap that around this section here. So we'll wrap it round a couple of times, and then we're going to tie that with a knot. And then we can just let those ends dangle down with the others.
Lovely.
And what we'll do is we'll just trim that so the ends are all the same length.
Little haircut.
Yeah. And then we have our little
it's very cute.
tassel like that.
Very nice.
Okay, so now we can attach this. So this is going to go through the little hole that we made. Okay, so we're going to take that so we've at least got a little bit of a swing in there.
Brilliant.
Okay, so we'll do that with some double-sided tape. And then we can stick that now onto the base of the hat.
Brilliant.
like
Oh,
that.
that's fab.
So, put a piece there, and a piece there. And then we'll pop a little bit of glue on this section so we know it's all going to sit nice and flat.
Good stuff.
Okay, and then we can place that. And then we can add our scroll to this side here. So again, we're going to do that with some tacky glue. And then we're going to make our little rosette.
Very good.
And that will give that little opportunity to dry as well. So we're going to stamp this again with the ink that we used earlier on, the blue ink, and we're also going to heat emboss it as well.
Ah, lovely. Because this is the pigment ink, isn't it? The artist's pigment ink.
So if you want to, you can apply it with some of the foam. So if you're just wanting one colour, you can actually just use the foam to apply it. Or you can do it where you apply the whole of the ink pad to the stamp, so you get that kind of graduated effect. We've already stamped one so that we can cut that out and then we can put them both together. So you can see how that goes nice and faded at the end with the ink pad. And then we will cover this with clear embossing powder. You could do blue as well, but we're going to just use clear. And don't forget to tap off the excess. And then we'll just heat that up. Okay.
Very nice.
So while that cools, we'll be cutting out the one that we already stamped earlier. Okay, so now we'll take our other stamp, which says Simply the Best, and we're going to again ink this up, but I'm going to just do this with the darker blue. And because we've got a small stamp, we can actually do that.
Very nice.
And we can just use the bit of powder that we had here. We can scoop it up like a spoon and then just heat that up again. So we're just going to go around the edge there now with that blue ink again. So now we can place this on top of here. So we've got like a nice double rosette.
3D look.
Yep. And then we're going to add some of our little gems. So we're going to use some of the Paper Mania gems. One at the top, so in the little gap at the top there. And then one in the gap at the bottom here. And then we can put the others in between. So we leave 2 spaces and then pop one in. And then we leave 2 more spaces. And then just before we stick that on, we're going to add a couple more gems to the actual card itself. So we're going to put one at the top here. And then we do one at the bottom. And then we will do one inside the big fleur-de-lis. And for that, we'll use the bigger gems.
Very good.
And then one on the other side. And then all we've got left to do now is to glue our little sentiment in place. And this one is going to fit on the side here, like this, and it will just hang so that it will still sit free from the card and you still get that springy action on there.
Brilliant. Fantastic. What a lovely card. Thank you so much for sharing that. I think that's a really lovely card for a graduation, but one we can recreate for all sorts of other occasions as well.
Yes, definitely, yes.
Fantastic. Thank you.
Thank you.
If you've enjoyed Sheila's project, why not leave us a comment to let us know? We always love to know what you think about the videos. And if you've been inspired to get crafting, why not upload your makes to docrafts.com? It's really simple to do. And if you're after some more inspiration, why not like our Facebook page? There's loads to be found there, including giveaways and hints and tips and all sorts of other goodies. Until next time, happy crafting.